welcome back to another colorful keto with Dori. And today we're doing Getting Over the Hump with Wende, keto warrior Wende, or as I like to call her, my mermaid warrior. And let's get her in and start chatting. We are gonna have a fun chat tonight, ladies. Yay, we're waiting for her to connect, and I'll get everybody all adjusted here better on Facebook. Woo! Hello, my darling!
Hello, everybody. How are you tonight?
I am so awesome. I just finished up 2 back-to-back lives.
I know you did. I popped in on one and did not pop in on the other. How did they go?
Oh, so good. We had so much fun. You are going to love Robin. She is your new soul sister, by the way. She's a big science girl, and she's like, hi, Dori's the fun one, and I am the nerdy science geek. And she's like, I know the numbers, and I know the science, and Dori's going to teach us how to make all the stuff we want. Yay! And I love her, and she has adrenal issues that she's been treating with keto, too. So you guys need to have a chat. I love her, love her, love her.
Apparently we do, because, adrenals have really been a struggle for me.
Yes.
And, still a struggle for me. If I spend too much time online, my adrenals let me know. If I'm overdoing it in my life, my adrenals let me know. I'm governed by these little, kidney-sized beans that are on the top of my kidneys. It's these little glands that are on top of your kidneys. They produce cortisol, and they produce adrenaline, and they give you that get up and go. But they also can really burn out. And if you burn out, then you really got to supplement yourself really, really well. And it took me months to figure out exactly what my body needed to make sure that my adrenals have enough support. And as it is, I'm still tweaking my supplements.
Yes, so I will certainly put you in touch with her. I absolutely adore her. I came in contact with her through Jessica because she helps moderate in Dr. Ken's group. So I love her. So we're going to meet her and do some stuff with her, I think. Yay!
Jessica just said that she says, wow, I just posted on adrenals on my personal page today.
Oh, yay. Jessica, post that on my group too, please, so I can share that on my page. Please, 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 and thank you. And thank you so much for putting me in touch with Robin because, man, we had so much fun. Girl, we laughed. I love it.
So, and if you wouldn't mind sharing that on my public page as well, Jessica, that would be fantastic, because any information that I can get my people about adrenal fatigue would be awesome, because it's one of those things that is really under-addressed with keto and with women in general.
And you know what? I want to say that too. You know what? If you guys are in other groups, or if you've started your own group and you want some of the information, I love it. I would do that. That's classy. If you guys want some of the information that are on our public pages, please share it. Now, for our groups, it's private only to the group, right? But from public pages, it's all shareable. So if you see something in my group or Wendy's group and you want it for your other keto group or for your group or a page or your personal profile, go to our public pages. Everything is shareable from there. And if it's out there, it's for you guys to share. If you see it, you want it, don't feel like you feel bad if you share it. It's yours. Share it if you want it. That's my offer. That's my offer. Share.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. Jessica says I can do that. This post has to do with adrenals as it pertains to fitness, and I have some links I can attach. That would be fantastic. I'm always looking for more information on adrenals, and I'm sure that mine are a little taxed with our guts and butts challenge right now. So
yes, yes, and you know what? I want to say Jessica's in my group. So if other people are watching who are in my group are in your group, there's no share limit in our groups either. If you see good information, please share it. Please share it in my group. Don't feel like, oh, it's Dori's group. I don't want to steal her thunder. I don't want to post something in her group. If you see it and you love it and you know people need to see that, share that up in my group. Please. Please share it, because I can't post everything. We love the cross posting and the sharing too. So Yeah, me, do for me.
Well, Dori's talking, and I want to make sure that you guys know. Please share for me too.
Yes.
Please share, because you know what? The more that you share, not only the stuff that we're doing, but share the stuff that you're doing, because it gives us an opportunity to share that forward too. Because we're networking in a bunch of groups, so let's share the love. Let's share the keto information. Let's get that stuff out there to really help people.
And I'm going to tell you guys a secret. If you're starting a new group, it's really hard to share your stuff, to find places that are friendly, that don't mind if you share your posts there. Even Facebook will make a limit on where you can share. So you know what? If you're just starting out, share. We're a friendly place to share. You can share what you're creating. We want to see you grow too.
Absolutely. So tonight, we just thought we would address really quickly, because, on Monday night, we had our hour-long live, and we talked about things like, I don't want it, right? I don't want to eat all that fat. My brain, I can't get my head around it. I don't want to eat that salt. I don't eat salt. I don't like salt. I don't care. But today, and so please don't misunderstand, I am completely empathetic, because I did all those things too. I didn't want to eat the salt. I didn't want to eat the fat. I didn't want to do all those things. I didn't want to give up all my things. I've done all the I don't wants. But this week was interesting, because this week I was craving everything. So tonight we want to talk just a little bit about what happens when you wanna and you shouldn't.
Yeah, when you're craving really, really, really bad. Now I'm gonna liken it to, I'm gonna tell you guys a story about peanut butter, because I never realized peanut butter was an issue for me until I started paying attention to my body. Now, when I first made myself sick on peanut butter and I knew I shouldn't eat it, a couple days later I was making a sandwich for my brother, and I just absentmindedly licked the little bit of peanut butter off my finger, and for 3 days I obsessed over peanut butter. I didn't eat it, but all I could think about every waking moment was, girl, I want to get up in that cupboard and I want to take me a big old tablespoon of peanut butter and I want to just shove it in my face. I want to eat like a half a jar. I just want to double fist it all day long. All I could think about for 3 days. But by day 4, I didn't indulge and it was gone. I have not peanut buttered since. But I really had to be strong in that moment when it was calling to me. When I was detoxing from it, and it was like, come on, Dori, I really do love you. I was only pretending. I didn't mean to cheat on you with that girl. Honest, it was an accident. I'm like, oh, peanut butter, I've forgiven you too many times.
For me, I don't really know what it was, so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about cravings, okay?
Yes.
I talk a lot about listening to your body, because keto can be a very intuitive way of eating. And most of us, we are intuitive. We're all born intuitive. Whether or not we acknowledge it is a totally different story. But most of us, most women in particular, we all get those gut feelings. That's your intuition talking to you. So if you're going to tell me you don't have intuition, I'm going to tell you you're lying.
Yeah.
So, what I've had to do over the course of the 15 months or so that I've been keto is I've had to figure out what's driving my craving. And this is what you need to do too. So you need to so one night I walked up to my fridge, I was craving something. Open the door, looking inside. Wow, it's full of all good keto food, but
there's nothing I want.
Okay. Am I really hungry?
No.
No, I'm not really hungry, because I don't want lettuce and celery and cucumbers and pepperoni sticks. I don't want those things. So now, I don't want any of the food that's there. Therefore, I'm not really hungry. So what's the next step? You're still looking in the fridge. You notice I still have my fridge door open. Still looking in the fridge, and it's like, I don't want the food and I'm not hungry. Why am I here? Oh, I'm bored. Close the fridge door. So, you need to identify what you're eating. And normally, it isn't anything about food. It's I'm stressed, I'm lonely, I'm bored, I'm hurt, I'm stuffing feelings down, I'm tired, I'm at loose ends. You know, there's all these different things. So the first thing, when you're craving all the things, try and identify what you are eating. Are you eating because you're hungry? Or are you eating because you're having an emotional moment? Are you eating because your brain is saying to you, Wendy, remember how good a caramel bar used to taste? You know you want me.
You know you want me.
For real?
You can't pretend like you don't want all this. Hello.
So the other thing is too, is that if you're craving something like sugar, generally you either need one of two things. You need fats or you need electrolytes.
Yes.
My go-to is always electrolytes, because if you're low on salt, you're going to be hungry. If you're low on, water, you're going to be hungry. So if you're making an electrolyte, right, that is your first line of defense, because sugar can be quelled by salt. If you are actually hungry and craving sugar, try eating pickles or olives, because surprisingly enough, it's usually because you're low in salt
that you
pickles
crave
and
sugar.
Olives have the salt, and they are also blood sugar stabilizers, so that instantly takes away that sugar craving, which is totally bizarre. Totally bizarre. The first time I tried that, I was like, whoa. This is like new magic or something, right?
What is this mystical food?
Try something salty. If you're craving sugar and you've tried something salty and you're still craving sugar, try something fatty. And then if you're still craving, then you got to figure out what it is that you're actually trying to cover up.
Yes. And for me, my first go-to, because I don't really, it's funny, because I make a lot of sweet recipes because people love them and they want them. But I don't often keep sweets on hand. For me, when I'm craving something really sweet, I'll take either some 90% chocolate or my Krista chips, and I'll melt that up, and I'll throw a little bit of coconut cream in it, and I'll make a little ganache, which you're supposed to put over cake, and I got no pride. I'll just eat that with a spoon, but only like 2 tablespoons worth. But I'm like, I just make me a ganache, and I eat that with a spoon. Because you know what? I used to be...
If we get going on a bar of 90% in here, chances are good it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think if that's my worst thing that I do is gnaw my way through a 90% chocolate bar, I think I'm doing all right.
Okay, now I won't lie, it doesn't taste awesome. Like, I will not even pretend that I'm like, oh yay, yum, that is like chocolate. I melt it and I add my sweetener to it, and I add usually some powdered coconut milk to make it more of a milk chocolate, because I'm not a huge dark chocolate fan. But in a pinch, does it solve the chocolate craving? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. When I put it straight in my mouth, I'm like, ooh, that's bitter. Because it is.
Well, it is, but you know what? I was always that girl that loved bittersweet chocolate long before I ever went keto, so 90% chocolate doesn't even fizz on me.
Not me.
I know, I'm super brave, right?
Yeah, I'm a milk chocolate girl all day long. When somebody gave me dark chocolate, I was like, oh no, that's not chocolate. I don't know why you even told me that was chocolate. That's not real chocolate. Even white chocolate's more chocolate than that. Sorry, no. No. Mommy don't play that game. No.
So, Dori, if you're having cravings,
yes,
and if you're not sure what's going on, what's your best tip to deal with it?
Honestly, for me, and this is going to sound weird when I say it out loud, but for me, the emotional eating stopped when I wrapped my brain around no schedule for eating, and I started eating only when I knew I was actually legitimately hungry, and then I stopped when I was satiated. And I'm going to say that because we used to overstuff ourselves, right? Like, not to the point where you're like, man, I ate enough for a week, I can't hardly move. But just until that moment, and we all know that moment where we're like, yeah, I'm done. And then we used to push it a little further and be like, yeah, but I could still fit another half a serving in there. So when I stopped eating just for the sake of eating, then the emotional eating stopped. And it sounds silly because it's like I lost weight to lose weight, to lose weight, to lose weight. But it's the same thing. When I stopped eating because I was emotional, then I stopped craving to eat when I was emotional. I honestly, I don't really get that. I'm sad, I need to eat anymore. I'm hungry, my body wants fuel. I will snack sometimes when, my guy snacks. Because he's an evening snacker, he'll do chips. But for example, I did some summer sausage chips. But look how crispy they are. You can actually hear them snap and crisp. So when he eats chips, I'll eat these. And you might eat a half a dozen meat chips with a high-fat dip. You're not sitting down to a family-sized bag of Doritos. And look,
Absolutely.
They're even shaped like a Dorito, just saying.
And where did you get triangle-shaped summer sausage from?
I cut it. I just have regular... I'll show you the summer sausage I bought. So, I bought it in this big old brick. This is like less than half of the size that it was. It was like this big. I sliced off a couple slices. I cut it up. I threw it in the microwave on a paper towel for 3 minutes. My kid can make these for himself. Your kid can make them for themselves. If you have a kid over 3 years old, if you slice it up...
My kids are adults and they need to be able to take care of themselves.
Right? But if you have little kids, if you cut it up, they can throw this in the microwave and make their own special meat chips for mommy. Because my kid always loved making me food. I think the first meal he ever made for me, I'm going to be honest, it was warmed up SpaghettiOs and toast with Cheese Whiz because he was 2. And that was what he could make. But he wanted to make me a food, and that's what food he knew how to make. He knew how to open up a can, and I could help him put that in the microwave. And he knew how to make a toast, and he knew how to spread a Cheese Whiz. But this he could have made it too.
So, another tip for cravings. And it was on the top of my brain, and then it flew off the top of my brain. Just give me a moment. It'll come back to me. Oh, right. Please remember, cravings are transitory. Okay? A craving might last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You guys, most of you out there are intermittent fasting, and you get yourself through hunger pains that take longer to go away. So if you can get yourself through those kinds of hunger pains, you can get yourselves through a craving. Distract yourself. Seriously. And you know what? If you have one of those days like Dori was talking about where you're craving it all day long, do you know what I've done when I've had those days? It gets to like 8 o'clock, 8:30. I'm still craving. I've eaten all the things that I can to try and take that craving away. I've kind of worked through some of the feelings that I'm feeling. I'm still craving it. I just go to bed. Because really, go to bed. Let your body just work itself out. But don't give in to those cravings.
Okay, so let's just before we leave touch on what happens when you do give in to those cravings. Because it sometimes happens to us. And it can be a varied reaction everywhere from, it didn't bother me at all and I got right back on next day, all the way to, I'm dairy psychotic for 3 days now because I ate something, or I'm carved, or I'm sugared, and I'm sick, and I'm whining, and I'm picking fights with my guy. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because not everyone is the same. If your girlfriend is doing keto and she says, oh yeah, go ahead, have a donut. I had one, it didn't bother me at all. You might eat a donut and you might end up in a 2-week carb sugar spiral.
Exactly, because you know what? Each one of us has a different metabolism. Each one of us has a level of what's called metabolic flexibility. I live with a guy who's metabolically flexible. He can eat a piece of regular coconut cream pie. The next day, he's a little tired, he's a little achy, but on the whole, he's feeling okay. If I have one taste of that, I can feel my insulin go through the roof. I can't do it. I cannot put these things back in my body and then expect that my body's going to be happy about it. So I'll give you a great example. I have a friend, and she was going through a rough time, and she went to her girlfriend's place, and she got really drunk, and her girlfriend said, I don't have anything keto here. And she goes, I don't keto care. Well, that's not quite what she said, but that's close to what she said.
Minus the beep.
Yeah, It was more like, I don't keto, boop, 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 boop,
Beep,
boop,
beep,
care.
beep, beep.
Beep, 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 censor, care. So she doesn't care that it's not keto. She's like, I want pizza. So they ordered pizza, and instead of, picking the toppings off, she ate 4 pieces of pizza.
Uh-oh.
And she's the clean keto. She said, boy, did I keto care the next morning when I spent the first 2 hours in the bathroom glued to the toilet.
I shouldn't laugh.
I shouldn't laugh. I did one of those I don't care days last year. I went to Krabby Joe's. I ordered chicken wings. Oh, sorry, we only have them breaded. And I went,
I don't care.
bleep, bleep, bleep. Screw it. I don't care. Do you know what I was rewarded with? I was rewarded with my digestive system shutting down for 10 days. I did not poop for 10 days. Yes, all the TMI you're going to find with me at Dori. So I didn't poop for 10 days.
Okay.
And then when my digestive system woke up, I had the single worst irritable bowel flare I've ever had in my life. I was in so much agony. I went, okay, so there is no more I don't keto care. I have to keto care.
Do you know what?
So, you're going to get things like headaches. You're going to get knocked out of ketosis for sure. And the thing is that you have to remember that every time you put sugar or carbohydrate back into your diet, if it's something that you are sensitive to, you might as well be saying, I'm a morphine user, I'm a heroin user, I'm just going to inject myself today and I'm going to allow myself a cheat day. Because you know what? You're activating those pathways all over again, which sets you up to go back into the carb cycle or back into the sugar cycle or both. So if you're not like my husband, if you're not able to be metabolically flexible, you need to make sure that you watch what you're eating, because it can set those cravings back off again, knock you out of keto, and then people really struggle to get back on, because when you reawaken those pathways, your brain goes, oh yeah, I know what this is. And so then the next time you start to do keto, your brain's like, oh no. You see, we did this before, and you're just going to keep feeding us what we really want, which is sugar, right?
Yeah. So
every time you do it, you reinforce for your brain that you are going to continue to give it the drug that it doesn't need, which is basically what it is. It's a drug that it doesn't need. And you're going to throw yourself off kilter. Now, some people can move in and out of, low carb or even higher end low carb. Most of us can't, because of insulin resistance, because of, hormone imbalances. It is really super, super important. Someone here, Strong Nine, says, I even tried to eat gluten-free pizza from a local pizza place, and it still made me sick.
Okay, but gluten-free isn't keto. Can we maybe touch on that? Because what's in gluten-free, dude? I looked at a pack of that stuff. It is scary, scary beans, what they put in that.
So what did you find in the one that you looked at?
The one I looked at was, first of all, it was almost completely a soy base. So it had soy, and it had cornstarch, and it had tapioca starch, and then it had a whole bunch of chemically words that I didn't understand. I was like,
polyunpronounceables.
Yes, polyunpronounceables. And I was like, 1, 2, skip 5 words I don't know. I don't think I should eat that.
If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it.
I can't pronounce a lot of things, though. I said ghee wrong for a long time, and I'm glad I say that right now.
Yeah, well, the good thing is that the ketogenic diet doesn't change just because you don't say it right.
Right? I love that. I'm going to have to put that on a t-shirt. Keto doesn't change even if you're not right. Because, man, I've heard a lot of people pull that. No, keto is anything that keeps me in ketosis. So, you know what? Low-carb tortillas are keto. And I'm like, no. By ingredients, they're not. The first ingredient is wheat. So, yeah, it's low carb. It's a lower carb than some of them. And good for you. Yay. And she's like, no, it's just as good as Fathead. It's the same amount of grams of carbs. They're both 4. And I'm like, okay, but you're talking about 4 grams of carbs of keto food, which is cheese, cream cheese, and nut flour, versus 4 grams of whole wheat, cornstarch, tapioca starch, all the things we can't eat. So guess what? 4 isn't 4. It doesn't, just because it's low carb doesn't make it keto, and just because you don't get kicked out of ketosis doesn't make it keto.
That's right. Because the ketogenic diet is about ingredients, you guys. And you know what? And Dori and I talk about doing keto like this often, where there's good, better, and best choices, right?
Yes.
So I have a friend who is very much about you should only ever make the best choices. And I'm still trying to convince her that good and better are acceptable choices. But in her mind, it's only the best.
Yeah.
We have all kinds of people working with all kinds of budgets, and if we can get them eating hot dogs instead of Snickers bars, that's a good choice.
That's a win.
If we can get them eating pork chops instead of hot dogs, that's a better choice. If we can eating grass-fed beef over pork chops, that's your best choice. But you have to do what works for you. So, you know what? But I was that girl. I was that you should only eat what's the absolute best, and it's taken me some time to dial back. But you have to remember, I started for cancer, so for me, everything was, we got to do the best that we can do at the absolute top end of everything. So I had to really learn how to dial back keto and get myself into a place where I can talk about, eating at all levels of the spectrum, right? So that was, that's interesting. Carefree Journey says, I find myself sabotaging myself every time I lose a few pounds. It's all a head game. Absolutely.
I hear this a lot.
It's totally a head game. It's totally about your mindset. And, when you are eating properly, like Dori mentioned earlier, a lot of that self-sabotage goes away because your brain just starts to work properly, and it's like, oh, good food? Oh, I feel better? Oh, let's eat more of what's making me feel better. Until you trip that carb sugar switch again, and then your brain's like, oh, no, the addict in you comes out. You're like, oh, I need all the things. I want the Twinkies and the cupcakes and all the things. And yeah, I'd like to eat all those things too, but then I could be 275 again. Or I could look like this. I think I'll take this.
Now, here's what I do. Like, when I see the things and I want the things, when I first went ketogenic, it was really hard for me. Like, if I was shopping, if I was out somewhere, if I saw food out somewhere, I really wanted it. But now I know I can make a keto version of it that's better for me. So, for example, I'll tell you, I had a lady who messaged me and she said, Dori, I was at Costco and they were sampling my very favorite donuts. But when I saw them, I thought to myself, I don't need their Satan donuts. I'd go home and I can make donuts like Dori does. And I went home and I made me some donuts, girl. And I made my favorite flavor. And I was like, that is it. That is the key. The moment when I realized I don't have to want the one that makes me sick, I can make a version that doesn't make me sick. That was my hallelujah moment. Because you know what? If you want donuts, I make donuts. You want pizza, I make pizza. You want pierogies, I make a pierogi-less pierogi. Like, if you want it, there's a way to have it. I even make sugar-free cotton candy from your sweetener and color and flavor extract. So if you want it, you can have it. Like, when you spend 2 months bemoaning all the things you never get to have, guess what? You can have all of them. You just got to make them.
That's true. But you know what? Then you have people like me. So when I started keto, I had no idea that I had food sensitivities. I have a laundry list of food sensitivities. It's like, wow, all the food I can't eat. I can't eat them. But here's the thing is people look at me and they're like, well, what do you eat? Well, I eat good food. I take care of myself. But my interest in eating all the food and stuffing my face is gone because keto really helps pull that under control. I have a really good point coming out of this. Wow, I'm like a gap star tonight. I wasn't feeling well this afternoon. I ended up having a 2-hour nap. My brain has not really totally come back online yet. I think it's just going to be, an early bedtime for this girl. Get my brain back going. And
yes. Okay, so while you're pausing that,
really good point.
Okay, while you're pausing that, Maria Ruiz on my Facebook says she needs the pierogi recipes. So I'll tell you guys what I do for that while you're rethinking. Because what I saw, someone originally used cauli rice, and I didn't have that. But what I did was I steamed some spaghetti squash, and then the rest of my family had real pierogies. So I boiled them, I fried them, and then on mine, I put the sausage that I would normally put, my grilled summer sausage, I put my bacon, I put my cheese. So I put my spaghetti squash with my good fat, then I melted the cheese, then I put the pile of the meat and the bacon, and then I put sour cream, and that was it. And I did not even miss the inside, like the outside of the pierogi part. It was killer. But there's pictures of it on my Instagram. So if you guys want to see it, it's on my Instagram, and it's called, I think, Deconstructed Pierogi is what I called it.
Awesome. And I remembered what I was going to say, so thank you for giving me a moment to put my brain back together. So, with having all these food sensitivities, there's a lot of things that I don't get to eat. There's a lot of things you guys post in the keto groups that I cannot eat. I can't. I just can't. And a lot of it has dairy in it, and let me tell you, dairy was my best friend and my worst enemy. So, there's a lot of things I can't eat. I said, but you know what? I even though there's a lot of foods that I miss, I don't really miss them, because I know if I put those foods in my mouth, how horrendous I'm going to feel. I am going to feel so bad that it's just not worth it. I have even tried carb up, so I have tried like putting a little bit of turnip or a little bit of parsnip into soup. Boom, instant insulin spike, 1 hour snooze to sleep that off. So some of us are metabolically flexible, others of us aren't. When you get to the point that I'm at, you really don't miss all those foods, because you know, the second you put them in your mouth that you're going to feel horrible. It's not worth it. And here's the other thing. Your brain tricks you into remembering that foods taste better than they do.
Yeah, they don't taste good like that anymore. That's the one thing I'm going to say. And my secret weapon is I make it. So, for example, I told you guys I can't eat peanut butter anymore. So what I do instead is I take walnut, pecan, hemp heart for the nutrition, grind it all up together, and then put peanut butter flavor extract in it. So it tastes like peanut butter, it's got the consistency of peanut butter, but it don't make me sick.
So my question for you though is that if you're putting peanut butter extract in it, does that not is it tricking your brain, or does it trip your brain? Because for me, I would be concerned that if you're going to put in the flavor of peanut butter, that your brain's going to go, oh, this is peanut butter, and it could just psychosomatically react. I'm just curious as to how.
I haven't reacted to it. I've made it a couple times. I've made me 2 batches, and I love the flavor of it, and it doesn't bother my stomach at all. I don't get any of the craving issues from it. It doesn't even make me crave real peanut butter. It's just my substitute for, and it makes me think I'm having peanut butter. And that with my sugar-free jam, I'm good with that. That doesn't bother me.
That's great. That's good to know that, putting in an extract isn't going to cause some kind of a craving trigger for you. So that's fantastic. It's good to know that those things are available.
Well, and let's touch on that before we close out, because we are running late again because we're on a roll. But I want to say that for some people, even keto-approved sweeteners will wake up your sugar craving demon. So if you're like, oh, I'm craving everything all the time, I'm not having any sugar, I'm only having keto sweeteners, they may still wake up your sugar cravings because you're still feeding your body sweet. Some people can have them to transition. Some people need to cut out all sweetener and then bring them back into their diet slowly.
That's what I had to do. And I had them in my diet, and then all of a sudden they decided they didn't like me, and out of my diet they went, and I've had to introduce them back in really slowly. But really, the only one I can tolerate is monk fruit, and that's just where I'm at. But Jessica said I didn't know there was such a thing as peanut butter extract.
Okay,
and so serve a sweet slice says I'm trying to let go of the relationships with food, which can be really difficult.
So this is my peanut butter flavored extract. This one is a Loren oil. You can order this one on Amazon. and it just tastes like peanut butter. Now these ones are meant to be candy flavoring, so there's no dropper. Remember when we talked about those ones? But yeah, it just tastes like peanut butter. But from these ones, I have everything from peanut butter to cotton candy to cookie batter to you name it, pina colada. They have a great variety in these candy flavorings in the Loren oil ones.
Jessica says, cephalic response, your brain thinks you're consuming sugar and it can still spike your insulin.
It can. And not for everybody. Not for everybody. Some people can have every sweetener in the world and it doesn't bother them. So I think that's the takeaway, is what works for somebody might not work for your body.
Yep, and if you're having cravings, find that thing that helps get rid of it. And if you can't find that thing, go to bed. Really.
Or soak in the tub. Soak in the tub. Do something.
You just gotta sleep it off.
Just like being drunk, some days all you can do is just sleep it away. And I do want to say before we leave, if you guys missed my live that I did with Nancy from Keto for Real Life People, we've been talking about a lot of the changes in our body, and you and I have this discussion on the private all the time. But tonight, her and I went there, and we talked about how all this is working so much better in the boudoir.
Yes, I can talk about that too if we're running late already as it is.
I know.
We were talking about this earlier. I should have talked about it during our exercise challenge today, and I was like, I feel like a gymnast in the bedroom again, because I can wave my legs around. My husband and I are nice and close together. Oh my God, bones. Did you know you have pubic bones and hip bones, and they actually smash when you're having sex? Yeah, apparently. I haven't seen those in so long. I've had all kinds of lovely cushion going across here.
Oh, I love it. And you know what? We figured it was about time somebody talked about it, because we talk about it in private. I've heard other people talk about it in private, but I ain't seen nobody go online and be like, look it, we're going to talk about it. So we did it. So if you guys want to see that hilarity, I'm going to be loading it up to YouTube, all my videos, because this is live 3, 4 for the day. When we're done here, I'm going to load them all up to YouTube.
Yeah, you've had a busy live day today, that's for sure.
Oh, Queen Wave, darling.
Oh my God, our 20 minutes just went, I don't want to know how long.
40.
Our 20 minutes went way overboard. We hope that you got lots out of this tonight, and we will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain, noon Eastern, so that we can do a recap on this month's Button Guts Challenge and announce what next month's challenge is going to be.
And see our results.
And what else have you got going on, Dori? I have a really quiet week this week, and I really need it, so I'm just taking a lot of recharge time this week.
Do you know what? We're doing our workout, and then tomorrow is the day I'm working on the final draft of my cookbook, which I'm hoping to get ready for pre-release by Friday, because that's the 1st. So if everything goes well tomorrow, please cross your fingers and your toes for me. Legs, fingers, hair, I don't care. Cross it all for me. And if I'm lucky, come Friday morning, we're going to have my first cookbook available on pre-sale. So for 1 week, you guys will be able to pre-purchase it for 99 cents instead of the full price of $2.99, and check it out and give me reviews before the final draft goes in. Boom!
And what's your cookbook on?
It is about fast bomb melts. So when we were talking about fasting, and everybody's all over fasting, what can I eat? What doesn't break my fast? I created them, so it's a brand new invention, and they're made out of only things that will not break your intermittent fast. So you can have them in your bulletproof coffee, you can have them in your bone broth, and when it's eating time, they're bonus fats with the flavor in them for on top of your food as flavor bombs. And there's some contributors. We're going to include some tips about fasting and keto, and it's going to be amazing. Miss Wendy is featured in the book. Take a bow, darling.
I got the dairy-free feature. I know that's a shock.
Shocking, right? And Nancy for Keto for Real Life People is featured, and Dr. Ken and his lovely wife Nisha are also featured in the book. So I'm super excited to pull the last few edits together.
I'm super excited. I can't wait to see it.
Yes. So that's tomorrow. So we'll see you guys in the morning. We're going to do results. We're going to talk about, and we're going to see what we're doing next month. Because we agreed to do it again, even though we both kind of hate our faces.
Well, you know what though? I know myself that I have seen a lot of changes in this body, and that alone is making me want to carry on and continue to do a challenge. Because you know what? We're only taking 10 or 15 minutes out of our day. It's not like we're investing 2 hours into going and working out at the gym or doing an hour-long Zumba class. We're taking 15 or 20 minutes and actually getting dramatic results. So I'm good with that kind of exercise.
Speaking of that, I want to tell you guys. So like everything else, like when I started keto, I didn't expect to see a big, huge change in, a month of really barely not doing that much exercise. We did not take good pre-pictures. We didn't. We just didn't do it. We didn't think there'd be a big change. So part of my project for tonight is to try to screen capture pictures of the first couple days, the middle, and the end. And I sent Wendy a couple screenshots, and we both almost spit out our drink. I was like, that was me? I look really different already. Look at me go.
Keto coaches, 2 keto coaches here.
Yes.
Who tell people all the time, take your before pictures and your before measurements, and what did we not do?
Nothing.
We did not take before pictures, but we did do measurements.
Yes.
We didn't take pictures because we didn't even think about it. And then she sent me this picture, and I'm like,
is that me? Is that me? Is that really my bum? Dori, is that somebody else? I'm like, no, girl, that's you. She's like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, girl.
So this exercise thing is absolutely working, guys. I cannot wait to pull out my tape measure tomorrow. I am not doing it live because I measure naked. Nobody needs to see that. But I will show you my results when we go live tomorrow. So, guys, thank you so much. It was only supposed to be 20 minutes. We got really into everything tonight. We love you so much. Thank you for getting over the hump with us. And if you like what you're seeing, please like, follow, and share anything that you see us post. Because the more that you like, follow, and share us, the more we get this information out to everybody.
Thank you, darlings. Have a great Wednesday.
Bye, guys.